Hey Astro Kids, and welcome back. This is your horoscope for the new moon in Aries, which we will be having on March 24th. So this is a brand new lunar cycle that we are entering here on Tuesday. And this is an interesting one as we are here with the sun on Chiron and Lilith, sort of this weird Aries season that we are starting off here, and the moon is coming in to join this energy. And so there's a lot here that is complicated feelings and fears and insecurities and breaking down the ego, a lot of wounds here that are being addressed, that need to be healed, that need to be reviewed and gone over in our lives. And we are in this space here with Saturn, which will be in Aquarius at the time that we enter into this new moon, this new lunar cycle. Saturn does enter in Aquarius on the 21st. And so we are moving into this space of really coming back to who we are individually and taking this time away from the public, away from humanity, to really assess and look over these lessons on an individual level. And of course, this Saturn in Aquarius playing a big role in this new moon is also dealing with us moving towards a space of the collective, of humanity, of elevating us, taking us into this brand new era. And so things are feeling very shaky as this old paradigm, this old reality is being broken down as we're shifting into this brand new space. But this new moon has a big focus and emphasis on self, on us individually. So we've seen for the past several weeks here that there has been a big focus on us collectively, but this is bringing the focus back to the self. There is something to say here about how Aries does teach us, as it is the opposite of Libra, about how we must heal ourselves before we can offer healing to others. So there is something big here to say about this, and Chiron playing a big role in this is the wounded healer that is here to say these are the wounds, these are the insecurities, these are the fears that need to be addressed. And there is a lot here that needs to be addressed, as this is Lilith added on to this Chiron energy, as well as Lilith is adding in these deeper levels of the psyche, is adding in this confusion, this mystery into what it is that we are feeling and how we can understand that feeling and address it. And with this, the moon is in here too with the sun. And so there's a lot of emotion, there's a lot of feeling that we don't necessarily understand, that it is calling for us to take the time to ourselves to understand and observe this feeling, to address the things that do come up at this time for you. So this is a very weird Aries energy that we are stepping into, as it is not your typical Aries energy of being more action oriented, being more impulsive, but instead it is having us address what we're feeling here on an individual level. So very, very much slowing down this typical Aries energy here, as Lilith and Chiron are playing a big role into this. Now we also have Jupiter and Venus in here that is also playing a major role, and it is here to show us that yes, we do need to remain positive, we do need to remain faithful, and we do have to focus on our values and what we hold worth and value in at this time. And this can be very difficult with all of this Capricorn and all of this confusion and mystery and fear in this Aries space that we're shifting into. But as Venus is here in Taurus, it is here to support us. And notice that this is a grand trine energy, which is a positive opportunity. It is something that we can benefit from. So with this Jupiter and Venus energy in here that is farming this grand trine energy, keep in mind that this is positive energy that you can utilize and access, that is surrounding your values and your securities and how you find comfort and happiness in your life. And so there's a big call here to raise positivity and joy in your life, as well as helping and assisting others as well. And this helping and assistance of others around us has become a big call as we are coming to the last degrees of Neptune and Pisces, where this is the call to assist, right? This is coming to the point of sacrifice and of giving to a higher cause, with Neptune coming to those last degrees of Pisces. And so this is here for us to raise the frequency. It is here for us to help and to give to others on a collective level. So this is a very interesting new moon that we are coming into here, starting us off in a brand new lunar cycle that is about how do we heal wounds in our personal lives, as well as how do we assist others in healing their wounds as well. Very different energy than what we would typically see with an Aries new moon. But remember that we are breaking down the ego, we're breaking down the attachments to self, and we are coming into this collective space. So this is in correspondence to this new reality that we are shifting into. And at this point, we do have Mars starting to come off of this conjunction to Pluto, right? We're seeing this tight conjunction between Mars, Pluto, and Jupiter in Capricorn, playing a role in this as well, as it is intensifying this Capricorn energy even further with this really tight compression of this space of the intensity of Mars, the intensity of Pluto, and this big benefic energy of Jupiter that does feel constrained in here, as Jupiter wants to be more optimistic, wants to be faithful, wants to open big doors and see from the bigger perspective in life. But it is in here where it has to face the challenges of reality and what is happening on this physical plane. And so there is a lot of this more intense energy that we are starting to come off of with this new moon that has been building for a while now. But seeing Pluto and Mars together, anytime we have Pluto and Mars in a major aspect with one another, this does create major conflict, as we are having these two very passionate, very intense, very driven energies clashing together. And so there's a lot here where this is calling for us to take a break. It's calling for us to work on our internal wounds as well as our collective wounds. And so it is a major pause in the collective, and it is a major point of deciding where we are headed. Are we headed towards fear in the past, or are we willing to shift into this new reality that we collectively have been asking for? But as we're shifting into this reality, things are feeling shaky, things are feeling chaotic, as it is breaking down the old foundation that we have been standing on, that we have been supported by, to give us a brand new foundation. And so as we're going through these crazy times, remembering that this is a call for us to remember that these are our answers to what we have been asking for for all of this time leading up to this major shift. And so a lot of healing that's necessary here with this new moon in Aries. Now let's take a look at the cards for today as well. We have the Seven of Swords, and as we have the Seven of Swords, things can feel very confusing. Things can feel out of harmony, out of alignment here, as we're dealing with a lot of this confusion of the mind, people overthinking, people looking and reading into things too much, trying to figure out what is going on here. So a lot of this mental energy that is kind of all over the place, people trying to make sense of things that are confusing here. But remember that with the Magician here, that the power is with you, and there is something big here where we're being called to be and stay on our path and remain faithful through this chaotic time, remembering that we are creating our reality by what we are putting our focus and energy and time into. And with the Three of Cups, even though this is a time of restriction, there is something big here that is about us coming together as a group and supporting one another, gathering and sharing our positivity and sharing our love with community in this time that does help us lift up the vibration. It helps us lift the energies collectively right now as we are coming into this space. And we do have the Justice card here where our answers to our prayers are being given to us, but this is a process. This is something that will take time. And so as many people are impatient, many people are worried, once again with this Seven of Swords energy, looking for that peace, that harmony, looking for the answers. Remember that this is a process that will develop over time. And so the answers that we're looking for are going through this court hearing, this process, this universal council that is trying to give us the answers that we are looking for. So this is something that we do have to be patient of, we do have to be mindful of during this time. And I also pulled from the Black Moon Astrology deck, and the card that I got was Scorpio, I Transform. And so with this Scorpio energy here, remember that yes, there are forces working behind the scenes. There are things that we don't know about here in this time. And so keep in mind that you don't have all the answers of what is going to unfold, what is going to take place, what is happening right now. There's a lot that's going on behind the scenes, but also that this is a part of a bigger process that is a transformation cycle. Anytime we're dealing with Scorpio energy, we're dealing with transformation. This is death and rebirth as we are going through this process here. This is a breakdown, as Scorpio is the breakdown, the death that brings us into new life. And so this can feel like a very intense time, a very dark time, as we do have Scorpio here. But this is a time of going through this death, going through this process to be rebirthed into a new reality. So Scorpio is here to remind you that we are transforming and that this is a process, and not to be in fear, not to be in this lower frequency, but to remember that this is a death that we are going through. This is a destruction that we are going through. Remember that Pluto is the ruler of Scorpio, this planet of underground knowledge, this planet of life, death, and birth. And so we are dealing with this very intense transformation process in our lives individually and collectively as well. So that is your horoscope for the new moon. in Aries on March 24th, 2020. Thanks so much for joining. If you like this, feel free to leave a like as well as a comment. If you are new to this channel, don't forget to hit the subscribe button as well as the notification bell so that you don't miss out on any new content. If you would like to, feel free to join the group, Astro Metaphysical Love and Light, a community where you can share your thoughts on any sort of spiritual wisdom, psychic messages, motivational advice, or any kind of positivity that you would like to share. Also, if you'd like to learn astrology with me, feel free to join the group, Astrology Lessons with Daquan Jones, where you can learn astrology with me. Once again, thanks so much for joining. I hope you all have a great day, and I will see you in the next video.